Hello, Year 5, Miss Warren here. I hope you are all well and welcome to your Thursday lesson for guided reading. Now today we're going to be looking at a new piece of text within Cosmic to answer some more vocabulary questions. Okay, let's get into it.
Okay, so this is your Thursday guided reading lesson, and now we're going to be looking at skill focus for a new piece of text from Cosmic. And again, we're still going to be exploring the meaning of words in context. So this is your starter task. So let's have a look at the image on the right-hand side and write one thing you know about it from looking at the image. So you're going to be using your retrieval skill there. Then you're going to be using the prediction skill to write what you think could be happening or what you might know about this image. Okay, so pause the video here, and I want you to write some answers down. Okay, welcome back. Hope you've had some time to write some answers down. And I'm going to verbally talk through some ideas because obviously your ideas could be different to what I think. So I think for my retrieval question, one thing that I know from looking at this image is that I can obviously see that is a rocket going out into space. Now I don't know where the rocket is going, so that's where I'm going to be using my prediction a little bit later on. But I know that they're in space, and by the looks of it, I think they're above Earth. And now I'm going to predict what could be happening. Now, I think that there might be some humans in the rocket and they could be going to the moon, or there might not be any humans inside the rocket and there could be robots instead. And these robots could be sent somewhere to explore and find out something new. So I want to see what you have for your two answers, so make sure you send them into the Year 5 email. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at a new piece of text from Cosmic for the next two lessons, and make sure that you pause the video when you find any new and exciting words to write down. Now this is a piece of text that I have already read to you this week, but obviously we're going to revisit it so then we can answer some questions to do with it as well. Okay, so it's now my turn. I'm going to read it out to you. Remember, pause the video if you find any new and exciting words, write them down and define them for me. I was still smiling after the play was over and everyone had finished clapping. Lisa said I was the friendliest looking, big friendly giant she'd ever seen. Mum said, I loved it. You look so happy up there. I waited till we were getting into the car and then I showed Dad the text. China, the biggest thrill ride in the history of the world. Your chance to become the greatest dad ever. I got that crispy New World feeling just reading it. I expected Dad to jump up and down with excitement and say, Get the sun cream, Liam. Inexplicably, he didn't. He shook his head and said, No one really wins those things. Well, someone must win them, otherwise they wouldn't be allowed to advertise them. Of course someone wins them. Come on, it's just a phone call. Yes, a long, long phone call. This is just a trick to get you to spend loads of money calling a premium rate phone number. And when you do, there's nothing at the other end except a voice saying, Please hold, and playing some nice classical music, and they collect all the money for the call. But you've been specially selected. Yeah, me and 10 million others. He deleted the message. We walked home past a shopping centre. I looked up, but you couldn't see any stars. I remember thinking, I'll probably never get out of Bootle as long as I live. It's funny to think that I am now, at this moment, further away from Bootle than any other living human. That night, Dad wanted us all to play Monopoly in the new kitchen. Monopoly! Has anyone ever played Monopoly to the end? Don't most people just sort of slip into a kind of boredom coma after a few goes and wake up 6 months later with a handful of warm hotels? If it had been Risk or Cluedo, that would have been different. But Monopoly. Sit down, he said. It'll be nice, all of us together. We haven't played a game for ages. I said, Monopoly is not a game. Well, here's the dice, and here's the board. How is that not a game? It's not a game because nothing is happening. In Monopoly, you can ask someone else to take your go for a while you go to the toilet, and it won't make any difference. Can you imagine asking someone else to take your go in chess or Risk or football? I'll tell you what Monopoly is. Monopoly is my life, going round and round the same streets over and over again with not enough money. So, said Dad, you don't want to play then? No, I don't. I got up. I was going to go play a few hours of Warcraft. It's always an anticlimax, said Mum, when you're in a play or something and then it ends. You don't want to play a little game of Monopoly with your real live Mum and Dad, said Dad, but you'll play all night with your invisible Warcraft friends. I haven't got any real life friends left, have I? Maybe you would have if you weren't always coaxing them into illegal situations involving high-powered sports cars. Oh, now, said Mum, he isn't always doing that. He only did it once. And isn't once enough? They were still discussing this when I logged into Azeroth and summoned my guild, the Wanderless Warriors. Okay, can you read these tricky words? I'm going to read them out first and then I want you to repeat after me. Inexplicably. Premium. Coaxing. Anticlimax. Summoned. Now, what is the root word in the word involving? That's right, it is involve. We have the suffix of ing. What spelling rule can you see in the word clapping? A bit similar to the word involving. That's right, it's the ing ending in clapping. And you can also see that we've doubled up the P as well to add the ing. Okay, now we're going to have those tricky words as the words we're going to say, shout, whisper, clap, act, and use it in a sentence. So I'm going to say it, and then I want you to repeat after me. Inexplicably, premium, anticlimax, coaxing, summoned. Inexplicably, premium, anticlimax, coaxing, summoned. Inexplicably, premium, anticlimax, coaxing, summoned. Okay, we're now going to clap it, and when we clap it, we are doing the syllables of the words. Inexplicably, premium, anticlimax, coaxing, summoned. Now I want you to act it. Okay, before you use these words in a sentence, what I would like you to first do is define each of them so you know what they all mean. Then once you define them, you can use them in a sentence. Tomorrow, I'm going to have the definitions of these words so you can check them through. Okay, so now let's have a look at some questions to do with the text. Okay, let's have a look at them together. Find a phrase within this section that tells us that Liam is now not in Bootle. So I'm going to read it again. So we walked home past the shopping centre. I looked up, but you couldn't see any stars. I remember thinking I'll probably never get out of Bootle as long as I live. It's funny to think I am now at this moment further away from Bootle than any other living human. I wonder if you can pause the video here and find the phrase that shows us that Liam is now not in Bootle. Okay, welcome back. Hope you found the phrase for me. And it is this. It's funny to think I am now at this moment further away from Bootle than any other living human. That part, further away, is a really key part in that to show me that actually he's nowhere near Bootle at this current moment. Okay, so I'm now going to give you two questions. These two questions I'm not going to give you answers for because I want you to send them into the Year 5 email. So the first question is this. Think of an antonym for boredom. Now an antonym is a word that means the opposite. So what is a word that means the opposite to boredom? Pause the video here, write down that question and answer it for me. Your next question is this. Copy the lists down and join the synonyms together. One has been done for you. So the left-hand side, the words on the left-hand side are words I've taken from the text. The right-hand side are words that I have found that are synonyms to the words on the left-hand side. So I want you to join them together and find the synonyms of each of the words. And remember, the synonyms are words that have a similar meaning to each other. Okay, so it's now your turn. Pause the video here and complete that task.
Okay, so we're going to carry on reading Cosmic now, and we're on a new chapter called Fathers Have Children. That was the night I finally took down my It's Your Solar System glow-in-the-dark mobile. It wasn't even astronomically accurate. It said it had Pluto on it. Everyone knows that Pluto's not a planet anymore. It's something too big to be an asteroid, but too small for a planet. It's nothing. Like someone who's too big to be a kid and too young to be an adult. The phone rang. A friendly voice said, "Hi, Drax Communications. Still want to be the world's best dad?" This time I waited for the options to come up, but they didn't. There was a pause, and a friendly voice said, "Hello, Mr. Digby?" "Oh, what? Yeah, that's me. Who's that?" "Dr. Dinah Drax here. I've been waiting for your call." "You've been waiting for my call?" "Yes. But I've tried to call you this morning and I was on hold about a year. I thought there must have been a million people in the queue." "But I told you that you were specially selected. Didn't you believe me?" "Yeah, but the on-hold thing went on for so long." "I really wanted to share that piece of music with you." "Well, thanks. I enjoyed it." "And to find out how patient you were. Patience will be an essential quality on this trip." "Oh, I can be patient. Really, I can sit for hours." "Good. Well, Mr. Digby, you're through." "That is completely cosmic. A car will collect you from your registered address at 8 o'clock on Tuesday morning. Dr. Drax, the rocket, what kind of ride is it? Is it a reverse bungee or a roller coaster or—" "Wait and see." "That's one of the ways in which you can exercise your patience. Now tell me a little bit about your child you'll be bringing." "I'd completely forgotten that dads have children. I do hope it's a girl. We're very short on girls. Oh, she's a girl then. Definitely, anything you say. And what's her name? Who? Your daughter, Mr. Digby. My daughter? Time to engage. I said the name of the only daughter I'd ever had. I said, it's Florida. Her name is Florida. If Liverpool City Centre was level 2, a secret location in China must be level 50 at least. I wasn't going to make the same mistake as last time. This time I was going to skill up before levelling up. In World of Warcraft, you can have weapon skills, gathering skills, or trade skills. You can have mining skills too, but they're a bit rubbish, and you have to buy a pickaxe. If I was going on a quest disguised as Florida's dad, I would need dad skills. I went through all the books on my dad's bedside table. They were mostly coloured charts of quick-drying, low-odour bathroom paints, with mad names like Antarctic Glow. But there was one called Talk to Your Teen, which was all about how to trick your teenage son or daughter into talking to you. Unbelievable. It was like finding the cheat sheet for Orbiter 4, except it wasn't Orbiter 4, it was my life. Look at this. Does your team sometimes seem sulky and uncommunicative? Meals are the most natural pace for conversation to flow. To create the best possible conditions for this, you should turn off the television before eating and try to serve fiddly food. Fiddly food keeps everyone at the table for longer, whereas pizza can be dispensed within a matter of minutes. People can keep a hungry teen at the table for a full half an hour. In other words, meals are traps. Except what sane person would bait a trap with kippers? It also said, it's very important to show an interest in the world. Ask them about their friends, their music, their books, and their computer games. So he was never interested in the history of Azeroth or the Wonderless Warriors' weapons at all. He was just keeping me talking. I should have realised this before, because when I carefully monitored my dad's conversations for several days, I discovered that they can all be broken down into the 5 headings, namely 1. How we got there. 2. What the parking was like. 3. What it was like in the old days. 4. Something thoughtful which made you think. And 5. Something to do with last night's football. For instance, on the Saturday morning we went to the new Strand to look for new handles to put on the new kitchen cupboards. We didn't find any, though we did get an amusing cactus holder shaped like a donkey. This is what Dad said. 1. The main road was so chocked, we'd have been better off walking. 2. £2 to park for 2 hours, and it takes you half an hour to find a space. 3. In the good old days, if the shop didn't have the right door handles for your cupboards, you came home empty-handed. Nowadays, with shopping malls and what have you, if they haven't got door handles, you buy a cactus holder. It makes you think. 4. Are we really any happier now than we were then? Are we happier because we have a cactus holder? It's not like we've got a cactus. 5. It's no good scoring lots of goals if you're also going to concede lots of goals. We need a terrifying central defender. These 5 headings apply to anything. For instance, if my dad ever did go to Azeroth, he'd probably say, 1. We took the Deep Run tram to Stormwind, Dwarven District. 2. The tram is free, it's very reliable and you don't have to worry about parking. On the other hand, it was raided by undead Scourge and a lot of us were killed. Luckily, my guild companions have healing powers. 3. There was no such place as Azeroth when we were little. If we wanted to play a fantasy game, we had to use sticks and swords and run around on pretend horses. The sticks really hurt. 4. We looked stupid, but we did get lots of fresh air. 5. Money has spoiled football. Players now spend more time advertising their hair products than they do training. I'd felt I'd mastered level 1 of being a dad. Now I had to get myself a daughter. And now we're on to our next chapter. You'll like it when you get there. I'll see you tomorrow for our next guided reading lesson. Stay safe.